Okay, now we're recording. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, so I usually start off when I want to make a new WebEx like I have today. We go to Cornell University .webex.com. I think someone already had the domain cornell.webex.com, so they just went with Cornell University. Okay, I usually go schedule a meeting. I've only done this a couple times, so I'm a little green with it myself. They just came out with this. I was pretty good with the Connect, and then they decided to switch over to this. Must have been for licensing issues. We're supposed to be using pretty much exclusively WebEx now. The contract runs out in the middle of September, so we're trying to phase people out gracefully. But as I was saying, we start off and go like, SBN conference. And you have to have a password for some reason. I've actually put in a request to see if we can get rid of that. I think that's more to keep the general riffraff and the public out of it. I could see the potential for abuse there in the future. But I usually just make it like CCE IT or something stupid. And it doesn't have to be crazy, just something easy to remember and something that you would put in the event management system there where it sends you the email like I did there. Like it'll say you post a link, it'll make you a link in the end of this, but post a link to the webinar and then post that password in there too. Set your date, your time, and you can actually set an address book. Let me bring that over to your window here. And I don't think this is working 100% yet, but at some point or another, they're going to make it so you can link it to your Outlook address book, and you can send it to like groups that you have in your Outlook. So that should be coming down the pipe in the near future. Another thing too is I notice a lot of people like to use the conferencing, like a phone conference system, and this is where you put that in there. You click that. I set this one to use VoIP only now that we've got these newer internet connections that can actually handle this kind of stuff. A lot of people don't have, a really fast internet connection like we do here at work. They might have just some slow DSL connection on their farm or something, So I usually would suggest that you go with another telecom service, and that's up to you guys. We don't have anything official that we provide. I've had good luck with freeconferencecall.com. It does make you listen to an ad, and it does make you do long distance, so that might be an issue if you're going to be, having people calling in from, other states and whatnot. So I think the number that they provide you is in like Illinois or something. So be aware of that for that. But if you're on a decent internet connection and you're trying to do stuff within extension or to other offices, a la Polycom style, I just use the use VoIP only option like I'm doing right now. Seems to work okay, as long as you have a headset that's fairly decent. And you can send a copy. And you can also save this as a template too, which is very handy if you're going to be doing stuff on a schedule. Like I'm planning on doing this once a month or so with you guys, so I'm probably going to save this as a template. So you can continually just generate them on the fly. I don't want to start that now because I don't want to put a false listing in the system. But you can always browse the current ones going on within Cornell University. This is the entire university. This isn't just cooperative extensions. So you might see a couple of them in there from campus and whatnot. But, okay. Hold on one second here. Okay. So I just went up to my WebEx. This is where I manage all the stuff that I have. It's right here. I assume you guys can see this. But as you can see, I've only got the one schedule so far, and it's these are all the voice in various options. I've disabled most of them, and you could just join it right there. Also, you can do this one-click meeting thing, which is pretty cool because you can actually integrate that right within Outlook. If I can open it up here, I'll show you. Hold on one second. I have dual monitor, so it makes things a little more difficult. But there's this there's a plugin that you can actually download from this website that'll allow you to do these one-click meetings and schedule meetings right within Outlook. And it's pretty handy because it interfaces directly with the Outlook calendar. So that's always awesome. All right. So I wonder if I can show you guys the actual application that I'm running to do this right now. Like, bring over the tools that I'm using here. Don't know if I can show the presenters, chat, recorder, and the annotations. I'm learning a lot of this on the fly as well. So, all right, maybe you can see that. If you guys can see that, that'd be cool. But I'm basically just sharing this screen. I mean, I could put up anything I wanted in there, you know, like what I'm working on, you know. Basically the plan for today. Next item on the agenda, if you guys don't have any questions, the chat box isn't particularly lively today. But,
Andrew?
Yes.
Okay, that feature as far as being able to set up a meeting using Outlook, you have to enable that when you're in WebEx, or can you do that from Outlook?
What do you mean? Like you want to make a meeting?
Yeah, set up that feature where you can actually set up the meeting in Outlook. Did you do that originally from the WebEx program?
I downloaded it's like a plugin that you can install into WebEx. You get it off that website that I was just at. I'm not exactly sure where. Let me type my password. Where to get it? I'll post a link later.
Okay.
But let's say I wanted to make a meeting. I go to one-click meeting, and you need to log into. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I need to log into my WebEx thing here. Stand by. All right. So it's supposed to bring this up when you do that. It's Meeting Center or Training Center. I guess one's for meetings and one's for doing actual trainings. I guess the training one would be more specific towards what I needed. But you can just generate these like on the fly. You know, this is a test, and the password is, you know, CCE. And it's basically a condensed version of what I just went through on how to make the meetings. It's a bit more painful to set this up because it requires a program to be running on your computer at all times. I run it just for the sake of knowing how to do it, but you can, you know, use FLIP only and apply. There we go. I just made a instant one right on the fly there. Apparently I have to have more than 4 characters in there. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Next thing I think I should show you guys is the Dropbox. I get a lot of questions about that all the time. Let me open up a tab here. 1 second. Okay, the address to get to this is Dropbox. box.cornell.edu. Should come up with this, and this is a Cornell. It's on the Cornell domain, so we'll have all the functionality of the NetIDs. Basically, the idea behind this is that the email system isn't really the best way to send stuff, especially stuff that's confidential. Like if you have anything that's got a personal information, you know, social security numbers, license plates, or license numbers, anything like that, you're going to want to send it through this. The email system, while we do our best to secure it, the email itself is nearly 40 years old, and it's not exactly the most technologically secure thing in the world. I mean, so we use this, and this kind of works through email, but it runs autonomously at the same time. Now, most of you guys, I imagine you guys all have NetID, so you will log in with this. You can actually set it up so that you can have external people that you can whitelist that are able to send in from outside of the university system. I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but you would have them log in right at the same screen you do. I'm going to go ahead and log in with my NetID. Okay, here's the basic home screen of the whole thing. As you can see, I use it pretty frequently. Say I wanted to send someone a document with a Social Security number scanned on it. And I select the person. Obviously, it remembers me because I've done it in the past. You. And we just select Add. And you can do a number of people all at once here. Or you can, I think you can even do lists. But I would be careful with that because you don't know all the people that are on a specific list unless you've actually generated it. You could set it so that it immediately comes up with another one. I never do that. Another form here once you send it. And you always want to notify your recipients by email. I don't even know why that's available as an option to take off. That's the email. That's to notify them when they get a file from you. It'll come up in their email. They'll say Dropbox files received, and then here you would type, Social Security numbers. Assuming I could spell, whatever. I usually just do one file at a time. It saves time for me. But, here's a scan that I made just for the test. And down here is where you include like a note to describe to the person that you're sending it to, like what this is. From their point of view, it'll just be some random file that says, Dropbox files received, blah, 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 whatever you name it. But this is those Social Security numbers you asked for. Another important thing to watch out for is this expiration date here. You'll probably want to set this to whatever the minimum amount of days that you can pull off without, running into issues. If someone's on vacation or something, obviously set it up to like 2 weeks or something. But I like to set it to like as minimal as possible. Like when I set it to 3 days, that means after 3 days, if that person goes to open that email and follows the link that it's going to generate, it'll say that its file's been deleted and you need to resend it. Excuse me. Okay, so I'll send that to myself, and it goes into the outbox. Okay, I just got a message in my outbox, or my inbox. It'll basically say something like this. Now, it'll say, I didn't put anything in there, but you can make it say, like, those Social Security numbers you asked for right there. Put it up, something like that for your sender. Just follow the link. And it's basically just click download and it goes right ahead. So that way it keeps it out of the email system and into the Dropbox system, which is much more secure. Now I see Marilyn has a question here. How much? Does this program need in order to schedule a meeting? You can go pretty much, here's the question for you guys. You can basically make a meeting right on the, right 10 minutes before if you wanted to. I really wouldn't suggest that, mainly because people wouldn't know about it and wouldn't be able to sign up. I like to usually get into these webinars, 5-10 minutes in advance to make sure my microphone's working and make sure that everything is copacetic. I know one of the biggest problems that we have with these webinars is that people don't have a decent microphone, or they don't know how to set up their microphones. So they might have it like so you can barely hear them, or it's like way too sensitive and capturing everything in the room, or lots of feedback and stuff. You want to kind of work that out with probably your local IT people, which would probably be me. But there is a method of, I think, hold on, let me stop sharing the screen for a second here. Yeah, once you're in the Cisco Meeting Center, I don't think I could show you this, unfortunately. Can I do? Hold on a second. I'm gonna try to do this. I haven't ever tried to actually share the Meeting Center itself. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. But yeah, there's an audio button on top that you can actually check your settings with. Let me bring the chat box back here. Okay, sorry to get off track there for a second. Dropbox. Oh, I'll show you how to do the whitelist. Now there is a way to do what's kind of like whitelist, like I said. And this is where you add people that are external to Cornell or outside. They just don't have net IDs, basically. But I've gone ahead and whitelisted my personal email. You would want to go to, I got there by, hold on a second. I got there, this is the home page. There's whitelist button right here. And you want to go to add new user. And test ads. You know what, I'll do myself again, just to show you what it looks like on the other side. And you'll have to make them a password, unfortunately. It's just for security's sake. You know, I make mine like 1234 or something, just for demonstration. I definitely recommend setting that a little harder, but not so hard that the person that you're going to be doing it for isn't going to be able to understand it. And default is 3 months for expiration. Not just do 1 month for just, no. Set a better password there. Okay, now I'll show you guys my, this is my personal email that I use for demonstration's sake. Sooner or later it's going to come through here. Alright, well nonetheless I received one. Here's the one I received earlier, and I'll explain all that. Someone sent their mic on.
Yeah, it gave you a message really briefly where it said that name already existed, so maybe it didn't accept it.
I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
When you just now put your name in for the second time in the Dropbox,
Right here?
the pop-up that said that, yeah, they're already on your whitelist.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I didn't send it. I did this earlier today, just going around with it to learn what I was going to talk about. But it would normally say, you know, email sent to this person, and then that person would receive this email. I can imagine you guys can see that. But it's a pin, and when you go to let me log out here. This is the page where they would need to see when they just go to dropbox.cornell.edu. They type, you know, DAMINAP220@gmail.com, and it would say you need to get the pin from that email. So you go to your email, and I just right-click, copy that, you know, copy, and you have to use it. You can only use that pin once, and you can only use it in that time frame. Again, this is designed more for security. You just punch that in there. It's not going to work now because I've already done it once. At least I don't think it'll work yet. And then it would just basically bring them back to the same screen that you have here, except for it would say their email address instead. And this would all be blank because they wouldn't have any of that in there. Another little cool tool about this is the people finder. You can basically use it to find people within the extension, just kind of like you would do with, I mean, you can kind of do a similar thing up here, but I like to just go, you know, Andrew Damon. There we go. And then it'll forward to that. Shows you all the information. Just another way to make life a bit easier. All right. That's about all I have for Dropbox. If you guys have any questions about that, go ahead and throw them in the chat box there. Apparently with this new version of WebEx, I can't see who's typing anymore, so. Alright, next thing on the agenda is Cornell Box. I know it's a bit confusing to have Dropbox and Box and all that. It is independent of Dropbox.com and all that, but address for that is box.cornell.edu. It kind of does. Oh, I'm sorry. It's cornell.box.com. A little dyslexic today. Let me log out so I can show you what the login screen looks like. Okay. When you log in or go to this website, and remember it's actually a box domain. So we have a subdomain and we're paying them. We have an agreement with them that allows us to use the service. And you just hit continue here. And okay. It's obviously remembering my username and password there, but it would normally ask you for your net ID there. Now you can log in if you have a personal Box account for whatever reason. If you were going in there, you can log in there. There's an option down right around this area that'll allow you to log in with a local account or your own personal account. One of the coolest things I find about this is just the collaboration. I mean, it's basically just a spot on the internet where you can put a bunch of files on the internet and sync them between computers. It's very similar to the not Cornell Dropbox, but Dropbox if you've ever used that. Except for Cornell actually supports this, and it is a program that we do help out with on the help desk, and I know a lot about. But we do get the fancy 15 gig account when we go through Cornell, as opposed to the 5 gig account you would get with a free account. So you get that benefit. But, like I was saying, the biggest tool I find about this is the collaboration features of it. Now, say I was working with a team of people about computer stuff, and I wanted to make a bunch of files on the server, or on this, and then I want to stick them into a folder and wanted to have it so that everyone can access it, right? Go to New, Folder, I can go Collaboration, right? And I want to invite my friends. So we go, apd738.edu. And these don't even have to be Cornell people either, or they don't even have to be Cornell people. They can be people outside of the university. They will have to make a Box account, and it will be a free account, but they will have access to this. It almost acts as if they were linked. It would show up like this in their Box. It's not going to say Cornell for outside, but nonetheless. Now this is one of the coolest things too, is you can actually set various permissions on these people. Like you can make them so that they can only view the stuff that's in that folder, or they're a co-owner, or they can, go nuts and do anything they want. That's usually what I set myself to. Or you can, what's nice is you can just set it so they can only upload. They can't even view the stuff that's in there. They can just dump stuff into it once in a while. It's probably better for your interns or your 4-H people, or just people that you want to have submitting documents to this. I'll invite myself as an editor. I can't collaborate with myself, I'm sorry. Sorry for flipping around. Let me invite my personal email here. Okay. Make myself an editor and invite. All right, give that a minute to go through this tubes here. And that user would get something like this. It'll say, they've got so-and-so invited you to this folder to collaborate. Just hit view folder in your email, or have your people that you're doing this with do that. and it'll just show them that. Now there's nothing in there, obviously. Now say I wanted to upload a specific document for you guys, you know, something that I wanted you guys to work on. Let me go find a Word document somewhere. Yeah, here's one. Just hit upload and then upload file. And you can also do bulk uploads too, which is pretty cool. You get this little window that comes up. They call it a fetch box. Real handy if you wanted to do like a whole bunch of stuff all at once. Let me show you how to do that. Grab your, it's a little slower, so I don't recommend doing this on like if you're just doing one file at a time or something. But say I wanted to like download like all these files on this folder here. I can just click one. And I can actually click and drag them all in there. I'm not going to do it now because it takes a while, but you can actually just drag a bunch of stuff in there all at once. And they don't have to be like documents or you know, Microsoft Office things. They can be any kind of file you want. It could be, you know, program files, drivers, anything. Great for collaboration. I mean, we've seen some pretty cool things done with Dropbox, not Cornell Dropbox, but Dropbox. It does essentially the same thing, but the collaboration tools are better, and we support it as a supported application on the help desk and within the SBN. Another cool thing is the synchronization tool. You can actually set a folder on your computer to synchronize with this, or a specific folder. Now, if I can find where I put that, I'll have to show you. I think it's under apps, right? Don't make it too easy to find. You know, I had this. Hey, you know what? Right here. Okay, so it's corner. Oops. Come on. There we go. I just went to Google and searched for it. It's just easier than trying to dig through it. I mean, I can log in here. This is different than what I did a minute ago. Where is download? Ah, here we go. Box sync, and you hit that, and download your file. This is a program that runs in the background on your computer. Just bring it over, and I'll run through the installation with you. Give it a second here. All right. Now it automatically figures out exactly what version you need. I happen to use the 64-bit version. Just hit next. You know, if you really want to read through all your legalese, you're supposed to anyways, but whoever does. Come on. I've already installed this once. I uninstalled it just so I can show you guys how to do this. So I've got to remove the old stuff here. All right. Now then. I just hit finish there. And I think if I show you guys my... Okay. Let me flip so I can show you guys my other screen here. Hold on just one second. Okay. show you guys the home screen. Now, once it finishes, it's going to want to get your username and password. Now, we're not going to use the normal box logon because we're using Cornell's box. So just hit the Use My Company single sign-on, and you need to type your full email in here. That's how it figures out what your account is. Now, while you're in here, if you happen to be on your home computer and you're doing this, and you want to, and you happen to have a slow internet connection, you can actually check these and limit how fast the stuff syncs in case you don't want it to be bogging up your internet connection. It does work at just about maximum speed of your internet connection until it's done syncing. So if you have a bunch of stuff that you want to sync, you have up to 15 gigs. So that's a significant amount of uploading if you want to fill that up right away. So at home, I like to, set it to, 250 or something, just so that it doesn't go nuts on me. Log in, and it should pop up with a single sign-on thing and want you to log in the Cornell system here. So hold on one second. All right. And here you just do your NetID and your NetID password. This is really good for like a quick and dirty backup. Like I'm only using barely even 1% of this. I'm just starting to use it myself. But okay, and then when you want to tell it to sync to a specific folder on your computer, you go to the settings button here and go change my box files location. I like to do the documents folder myself. And that's your My Documents folder. Yeah, that's because I did it before. But and it'll basically sync any changes that you make with your My Documents folder. It'll make a synchronous copy of it on the other side and the box side. So you'll always have at least a rudimentary copy of it somewhere else. And then you can even allow another person to view that and share and edit in various permission levels depending on what your application of it is. Sync, start sync, and let it go nuts. I've already done this once, so it's not too bad, but it might take a bit if you have a lot of stuff in your folder. All right, that's pretty much Box. I mean, they're not suggesting that you put anything confidential or sensitive in there either, just because, again, it's one more spot that they don't want to have weakness on our networks, Let me stop sharing screen. Okay. Any questions about Box?
Andrew, is it like SharePoint where when you take a document out, you sign it out, and then you sign it back in?
It works a little different than that. It basically will copy it'll bring a copy of a specific file down to your computer that you have access to. I imagine you're talking about the collaboration features, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it'll, when you upload it again, it'll just pop it in there. So I don't think you have to check it out. I know the SharePoint likes to, it doesn't like to have two people editing something at the same time, because SharePoint will allow you to do it right within the browser. You don't actually have to open up a document in Microsoft Word or Excel or whatever. So the possibility for conflict there is a lot higher. And we've used some of this stuff pretty successfully in Oneida County before, and it was really pretty cool. So, anything else? How are you doing the microphone, by the way, Jess? Did you bring your laptop in there or something?
I'm just using it off the laptop right now.
All right. Last thing I had on my agenda was just to fill you guys in some of the details on the Office 365 migration. I've been getting a lot of questions about that. From the general user's point of view, unless you're some sort of administrator or some sort of email junkie, I don't think you'll see any differences. It should be pretty smooth for you. the day that they migrate it, it might be a little slower, but we shouldn't see any difference. Basically, the idea was that we were going to shift our stuff up to the cloud. Air quoting here, but we're no longer managing our own Microsoft Exchange servers. I guess IT felt that we were spending way too much money with this. I mean, we were running every faculty member on campus had an individual account on our own servers here, and it was really starting to become something of a problem for trying to manage it. You know, our costs were getting pretty high, so we're letting Microsoft do it now. It's being hosted by them. They are under some confidentiality agreements, and there shouldn't be any legal changes from your point of view. They're aiming for the first set of accounts to go over September 15th, but they're not doing it all at once. They're going to be pushing it out in chunks out until about February-ish. That's when they should be about finished with it. Been getting a lot of questions about the 25 meg email attachment. That is the new maximum limit of an email attachment. So if you have anything bigger than that, we really have to get that removed. I believe you guys have all gotten emails if you were one of the people that happen to have one of those with instructions on how to remove them, or at least move them to your local computer and not on the server. If you had anything in your inbox that's over that size after September 15th, it's going to get wiped out. So just a heads up there. Tell your people in your counties. I see most of the people in this are my tech contacts. I see a couple of other people though. Another big migration change is your size of your inbox is going up to 25 gigs per person or per account. That's up from 7 gigs. Helps you guys. I know some of you guys like to keep thousands and thousands and thousands of emails, so that should be less of a problem. We'll have less issues with our speed trying to connect to the servers every morning. I know some of you guys have been getting asked for your password 4 or 5 times, so we should be able to resolve that all in the same swoop here. And starting in February, we're talking about getting the Microsoft Office 2013 package, and they're talking about not even doing it online, or they're doing it online now, like through a browser, kind of like Google Docs or something. That's all coming down the pipe yet, but we haven't really been given a lot of details of that, but that will be available, they're claiming, so that'll be pretty cool. I can fit you guys in on that at another conference. But that's basically all the details I have for that at the moment. It's just basically that we're not going to be seeing many direct consequences of it. So, you had a question?
Just wondered if they roll out something like that, will they also have training sessions planned?
No, they'll probably make me do it. But yeah, I think it's going to be awesome once they do that. It takes a lot of the load off of the local individual computer and starts moving stuff up to the proverbial cloud. I wish you could see my air quotes when I do that. Yeah, I'll probably be doing some training on that myself. I may or may not just do it through WebEx or go around to the individual counties in person. I'm going to be trying to do these WebEx webinars at least once a month for all you guys. I'm going to make them, they're available to anybody that's willing to join, especially the tech contacts in the individual counties. Probably towards the end of the month, I'll forward out a schedule sooner or later. Oh, and one more thing I want to show you guys before I go. Let me show my screen again here. I'm actually developing a blog for IT for some of the cool stuff that I'm discovering around. I'll show you guys that. Finally got a chance to debut it. If you guys can see that at blogs.cornell.edu/central-SVNIT. And I'm actually working on something right now. I haven't updated it in about a month, so I'm sorry. I've been very busy. But showing you guys some of the new features that are new features and capabilities that are available, as well as some new technologies that are external to Cornell that would be useful for you guys. I'm actually working on one for a password manager right now that you guys would probably be interested in. I know a lot of you guys like to complain about having to remember 50 passwords and having to have numbers and letters and all that, trying to find a method for taking care of that for you guys to help out. And I've had some pretty good luck with it in some of these counties that I've been helping out with. But again, it's blogs.cornell.edu/central-SBNIT. And I believe it's available through the, if you go through the blogs.cornell.edu, it'll be in the list of available blogs there. All right. Any questions? Stop sharing that. All right. Figured we'd be in this a little longer. I let you guys go, and I will provide a schedule for when we're going to be doing these WebEx meetings. I'd like to be doing, like I said, at least monthly. Yes?
No, thanks, Andrew.
Okay. I will see you guys all later. Nope. Does Marianne have a question there? I see a hand raising. Can't get your microphone to work. You can just put it in the chat window down there, right? Sure. I think you can still hear me, but yeah. I'd rather be doing that on a more of a personal basis. You know, I can run you through how to do it right here. It's easier. I think it's easier for me to just, because I can't really share the screen of what I'm seeing from the administrator side of like basically all the settings that I can play around with on the fly. Yeah. No problem.